Welcome back, True Seeker.
My father does not know who his father is. And at one point, he heard his father might be named Greenblatt, which is a Jewish last name. So it might actually be a Greenblatt.
Flashback.
I'm not a greedy person. I'm not a greedy person. Also, before I even get into it, I'm just going to let you know, for all you guys who've been on the sports tier, I'm changing things up for the football season. The tiers are going to be a little bit different for sports now. For those of you guys who are on the $5 tier for sports, you're going to get Friday. You're going to get the Friday notes and the Friday live stream. So $5 tier gets you $5 Friday now. I know for years I did everything for $5, Last year I upped it to $11 if you wanted everything. I got a family to feed over here now. Things have become expensive, family to feed. But again, I'm not here for money, you guys. Anyway, this is the new pricing tier. $5 gets you the Friday live stream and sports notes, which is a lot. It's still a pretty good deal. That means you get 4 things. Some months it'll be 5 things. Well worth $5.
Is it though?
The $11 tier is going to get you notes all 7 days a week. So anyway, $11 tier is going to be notes every single day of the week and the Friday and the Saturday stream. So that's what you get on the $11 tier now. $20 tier, you get everything. You get streams all 7 days a week. You get all the notes.
I'm just going to stop it right there. Listen to what the Jew just said.
So again, just so we're clear on the new pricing tiers, $5 tier gets you $5 Friday. You get the sports notes Friday and the live stream. $11 tier gets you sports notes every day of the week, all 7 days a week, all 365 days a year. And it gets you the Friday and the Saturday stream. $20 tier gets you everything. Notes every day, live streams every day. When things are more expensive than ever, you're telling people to give you all that money? What an asshole. Zach's a Jew. Star of David, Star of David, Star of David.
This piece of shit right here, he has an agenda. His agenda is to get very, 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 very rich. And he's going to do whatever it takes to accomplish that. So
money, man. People just want money, 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 money. And that's also the reason I got so many dedicated haters that just been snakes in the grass. I mean, I have a guy who's been trolling and screen recording me for over 10 years straight now. Think about how pathetic that is. I mean, I have a guy who's been trolling and screen recording me for over 10 years straight now.
Just total liar of a human being. But
Always just trying to look for what's wrong to put out some compilation video. It's like, how many correct, amazing things are you not putting out there and just, for your haterade?
People want to focus on the things where I've been wrong, Why?
Again, you listen to the trolls and the haters, it's not going to serve you well.
Well, we're going to find out.
I'm making a slight tweak to the pricing for the tiers. I had a lot of people in my ear that want more content at the $11 tier. And you guys are lucky I'm just such a nice person,
Really?
$5 now only gets you Friday. Friday, you get all the sports content, you get all the notes, you get the live stream. So we call it $5 Friday. If you're on the $5 tier, you get Friday every month. If you're on the $11 tier, here's the change. I said on the $11 tier, you would get all the notes and you would get the Friday and Saturday live streams. I had a bunch of people say they want the streams all week. So here's what I'm going to do. If you're on the $11 tier, you get all the notes every day of the week, and you get the streams Monday through Friday. That's what I'm going to do.
So you took away the Saturday stream from the $11 tier under the guise of being generous, when in reality now you're making people pay $20 for the NFL Saturday stream.
Monday through Friday, you get the live streams on the $11 tier, but you're not going to get Saturday and Sunday. You're going to get Monday through Friday. And here's what else you're not going to get. We're going to do extra streams on Monday and Thursday for the NFL. So if you want everything, you're going to have to be on the $20 tier.
It's really the ultimate grift. Just selling people a load of shit and asking for their money.
So yeah, I wanted to make those announcements. So for all the people who wanted more content on the $11 tier, you're going to get Monday through Friday, but not the weekend. And again, not the NFL exclusive streams. You really want that NFL intel, you're going to have to pony up the extra $9 a month.
I mean, it's really disgusting is what it is.
Again, Chargers can pick up the 59th all-time win versus the Chiefs, including the playoffs. If they do win, this counts as a home game for the Chargers. They'd be 32-32-1 at home. Brazil 32. But yeah, if Mahomes loses, he is going to get his 28th all-time loss. That does jump out. Sao Paulo and YouTube, both 28. Actually, I missed another stat here. He can stay on 23 losses in the regular season on the 23-date numerology. Or he can get his 13th road loss. LA does like 13. Yeah, because I got to tell you, in the back of my mind, I don't like how all the media is all over the Chargers to win. But the Harbaugh 6-0 thing in Sao Paulo does stand out to me, especially since he met with Donald Trump, which equals 60. Harbaugh comes in with 60 all-time wins in Sao Paulo. He could stay there. That is something to think about. Rather than become 6-0, he could stay on 60. I'm going to rewrite my conclusion a little bit different because I still do have that initial thought that I had, but it is burning me up that the media is so big on the Chargers tonight. I really don't like that. I really don't like it. I'm going to rewrite my conclusion a little bit different because I still do have that initial thought that I had, but it is burning me up that the media is so big on the Chargers tonight. I really don't like that. The Bucks and the Falcons. I love that this is the first game on the slate. It's 2025, right? These are pretty much the most 25 teams in the league. The Giants are too. Here we are on 9-7, a bit like 97, the 25th prime. I saw the media was all over the Bucks to win this game, and it does look like Mayfield will win 2 of his first 3, but he might lose this game here. And the way the 25 would play, most clearly in the stats, is if Tampa Bay got upset. Todd Bowles, he can get his 25th loss with Tampa, and he can also get his 69th all-time loss. Atlanta's 69. But, first game of 25, and the one big fat 25 that is there is Bowles losing. Raheem Morris, if he did win, he'd stay on 47 losses. Tampa Bay number, he'd get his 30th win. Tampa alone is 30. But yeah, I see an upset right there. I see a decent upset narrative with the 25.
How about shut the fuck up, morons? I'm not wrong about anything.
The Bengals and the Browns game. This year, Burrow could get his 33rd loss. Big Cleveland number. 33 has become hit and miss with Cleveland. So that is a warning. But if Burrow does get that 33rd loss, he's going to stay on 43 wins going into Jacksonville. He's notorious for slow starts. Jacksonville likes 43. And then Flacco, he could start the year with his 106th regular season win after we saw 106 play in both of the first games. Now, so the QBs make it look like Bengals can get upset here, And Notice Cincinnati 5.5-point favorite. If you did take the Browns, smart move might be tease them up +2 to +7.5 on the 7-day. Could be a wise move, but they also have pretty decent value in a parlay. Raiders and Patriots. This game's 35 days after Brady's birthday. Tom Brady equals 35. Part owner of the Raiders. In his whole scripted career, pretty much began with that Patriots-Raiders tuck rule game. But Geno Smith has that 45th loss right there if he goes down. Just 45 is a good number in New England, and that was what we got the big upset with last year in week 1 when the Patriots beat the Bengals. Zach Taylor picked up his 45th loss. I'm still leaning a bit towards the idea that Geno Smith's going to get his 45th loss. That was the number that hit in week 1 for the Patriots. Yeah, you might have a lot of predictions, but how often are you wrong? Who cares about how often I'm wrong? The Cardinals and Saints, I'm more on the idea of Saints at +7.5 is probably the right move in this game, because when I saw that the Saints could get their 106th win versus the NFC West, again, the first 2 games were about 106, right? Eagles got their 106th win in the division. Mahomes stayed on 106 wins. The Saints used to be in the NFC West. That's why they have so many games versus that division. So I thought, wow, that really opens the door for them to upset and Kellen Moore to have this nice story to his first game of his career. But it's still hard to take him outright to win. So if I was taking the Saints, I'd have him at +7.5 on the 7-date numerology. The Steelers and the Jets, if this game doesn't come in, man, they might really be switching things up on us. But Steelers and 31 is just one of those numbers that's always been so consistent. And it's funny the way they have this lined up. Fields can get his 31st loss, and obviously played for the Steelers last year, sort of. Not that much, but he was there. And Rodgers can stay on 60 road losses versus now his old team, the New York Jets, which equals 60. But yeah, Steelers and 31 just been one of those super consistent things. So yeah, anyway, 31, it's just 31 and Steelers, man, long history with that number. The Giants and the Commanders, there's a 106 here. After doing the division records, the 106 popped up. The Commanders can stay on 106 home wins versus the NFC East if they get shocked by the Giants, the true 25 team who love 25. And today they're saying that Jackson Dart is expected to have some plays on the field, and they're mentioning that he's the 25th pick of the draft if you've seen the ESPN ticker. But yeah, I think if I'm playing that game, I'm taking the Giants at +7.5. Again, could there be 7 games with a 7-point spread today? I wouldn't be shocked one bit.
I also can't figure out why people are always leaving the comment, how come you don't predict anything then?
You know what, you guys? This is not a false statement. I could wipe my ass with the name Nostradamus. Literally. Literally. The Panthers and Jaguars, if it's business as usual, this one's pretty straightforward too. Bryce Young can get his 23rd loss. Jaguars like 23 a lot. And Lawrence can stay on 38 regular season losses, like Panthers and 38, like I was just talking about. Looking ahead for Bryce Young, if he loses his first 3, he'll get his 25th loss versus the Falcons, who like 25. And if they start 0-5, he'll get his 27th loss versus Miami. Also for Lawrence, if he doesn't lose this week, he'd go in 24-39 all-time versus the Bengals. The 2 Bengals numbers, 24-39. So it looks like he should win. And again, Bryce Young can get his 23rd loss. A number the Jaguars historically like a lot. Titans and Broncos, I talked about this right at the start of the stream. Cam Ward, 106th day of his age. He makes his NFL debut in the 106th season playing for the true 106 team, Tennessee. And Sean Payton, next regular season loss is 106. So yeah, to me, this has upset special written all over it. And notice where the spread is 7.5. I mean, you want to play it safe. Titans with the points. They could lose by a touchdown. You win the bet. But yeah, that 106 is screaming. The Niners and Seahawks, when 24 is on the board in a Seahawks game, it normally hits. Purdy can get his 24th regular season win, and he'd become 12-6 away before playing at New Orleans. So I think that is the top clue. There are a number of things here to think twice about. I can't go against the 24, though. Purdy getting the 24th regular season win. But I'm still on the idea that Purdy's getting his 24th win versus the Seahawks and becoming 12-6 away before they go into New Orleans.
And then the Lions and Packers, ultimately what I decided with this game is about Micah Parsons. Look at this, you guys. You see how Micah Parsons equals 71? Whoops, Parsons. There it is. Micah Parsons, 71. You see that? And Dallas Cowboys in that same cipher is 74. You see that? Do you know what's going to happen if the Packers start the year 4-0 beating Dallas? Matt LaFleur will get his 71st regular season win and his 74th all-time win. Their fourth game is against Dallas. So I thought, what a script. That jumped out to me. And I said, you know what? I think that's the narrative. But yeah, that's ultimately where my thinking is. You go through the numbers in this game, it could give you a headache because, the narratives look great on both sides, really, for the immediate game. But I'm just looking 4 games out, and I'm saying, man, that's 71-74. How do they line that up and not do that? So Texans and Rams. If Rams win, they're 5-1 versus the Texans. I like 51 in Texans. Houston Texans is 51. Rams is 51. Rams could also win the 4th straight in the series. LA's 4. The game's in LA. So I do think that's the top clue I'm going off in this one. It's the 5-1 thing. It's the 5-1 thing. And then when you look at the coaches, Ryans can get his 15th loss. Rams do like that 15. Yeah, it's the 5-1 head-to-head. That's the overlap number with both teams. So I'm leaning that way. The Ravens and the Bills, I'm leaning Ravens because Ravens equals 25. You're playing on a 25-date numerology. And then in the quarterbacks, Jackson can get his 36th road win. Buffalo and Bills are both 36. He'd stay on 15 road losses. That's an SNF number. Granted, it's not the good one, though. But Allen can get his 41st loss and stay on 83 wins. Ravens 83, Baltimore 41. And if Allen doesn't win, he'll stay on 43 home wins in the regular season before playing the Dolphins. Dolphins like that, 43. So, yeah, the quarterback narratives and the coach narratives, to me, make it look better for the Ravens.
Finishing off a very good Sunday in the National Fix League. Did we nail it or what? The game's not quite over, but we might get the 25 points in the final score. And as for the top clue, I think it is Allen getting his 41st loss. Baltimore 41. He would also stay on 83 wins. Ravens 83. At the same time, Jackson can get his 36th road win. Buffalo and Bills equals 36. If the Bills do go down, they'll also get their 25th loss versus the AFC North. Ravens 25 on a 25-date numerology. As I speak, Baltimore's up 40-25 on the Bills with a little more than 7 minutes to go.
A few moments later.
Spread out. Only 2 Ravens pursuing, and Allen throws deflected and caught by Coleman.
More moments later.
Hayden, first-year player, I should say, is the man protecting, and Henry lost the football. And the Bills are down there. And they have it. What an incredible. Allen reaches over the pylon or the goal line for the touchdown. Here it is. The throw to Coleman is broken up by Nate Wiggins.
There's still time.
Baltimore brings some pressure, and Allen throws. It's caught on the run. Coleman, Keon Coleman tripped up at the 9-yard line. From 32 yards, Prater made it.
I'm not a greedy person. I don't say, here, to get my sports picks, you got to pay $500 a month, even though they're worth that. They're worth that.
Did we nail it or what?
Indeed. The stupid scripted comeback last night by the Bills, which did make it possible for home teams to go 10-6. And if that happens, the oldest team in the league, the Bears, who are 106 years old, are going to make it 10-6. And Brian Urlacher's name's everywhere today, and it's 106 days after his birthday. So black QBs are 5-10 in week 1. If Caleb Williams wins, they're 6-10, which looks like 106 in reverse. Hey, Chicago likes 37 a lot, and black QBs can become 3-7 versus white QBs if Caleb Williams wins. And it is black versus white, and black's 106, 106 season, era of the black quarterback. Sure, it is interesting that it didn't go very well for black versus white quarterbacks this weekend, but maybe Caleb Williams is here to get it closer to 500. And I can't fade that 106 thing. That was our thought, that home teams would go 10-6. It's right here. We're on the precipice of it. So again, Caleb Williams wins tonight. He's 6-12, like the Minneapolis area code, beating the team from Minneapolis. 5-5 at home. Minneapolis is 55. So is Chicago Bears. If he wins 2 of his first 3, he'll have 13 losses after Dallas. I'm anticipating that's where that's going. I got to lean on the league record 10-6. Again, the Bears are the team that is 106 years old.
People want to focus on the things where I've been wrong. You know? Why?
Another wrong prediction. Charlie Kirk killed 13 years after, well, killed with an asterisk. I'm not convinced it's true based on what I've seen from this big pump thing in the shirt, and then the reaction, and then the blood squirting out, and the ring finger switching in the video. I mean, how do you explain these things? We live in the age of AI, you guys. They loaded him in an SUV. Let that be the top clue. I mean, imagine you've been shot in the neck. You would need attention so fast if you had any chance. They're loading him in an SUV. They've never told us what hospital. Have you guys? I haven't seen it anywhere. I haven't seen a single article. I was looking. I spent a lot of time last night looking for an article about what hospital he was taken to. Couldn't find anything. They've never told us what hospital. Have you guys? I haven't seen it anywhere. I haven't seen a single article. I was looking. I spent a lot of time last night looking for an article about what hospital he was taken to. Couldn't find anything. I'm going to continue to say, so we're told, because he was loaded into an SUV, and that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you're shot in the neck and you're bleeding out, you need medical attention ASAP if you have any chance of living. Being loaded into an SUV, that doesn't make sense. Look how dumb this man is. This man is so fucking dumb. Also, if the Packers do win, didn't I have the note up here? Primetime records, yeah. The Packers can make it 4-1 for home teams in primetime. Green Bay is 41, like TNF is 41. And what's also noteworthy about that is this is going to be the 41st total meeting between the Packers and Commanders, including the postseason. I'm still on the idea I had last week about Matt LaFleur starting 4-0 versus the Cowboys. He'd get his 71st regular season win and his 74th total win. Micah Parsons, 71. Dallas Cowboys, 74. Or keep in mind, he started the year by getting his 71st all-time win with Micah Parsons, the storyline. Jaguars and Bengals is also tricky because of the Pope. When 23 is on the board in a Jaguars game, I like to go that way. Burrow can stay on 23 losses on 23-date numerology. Burrow staying on 23 losses on 23-date numerology versus the 23 team, to me, is the top clue. But I did talk about last week how it looked like Russell Wilson would end up with his 49th road loss in Dallas, where 49 typically plays. And keep in mind, Leo equals 49 as well, since it is Pope Leo's birthday. And it does seem like they want to get Jackson Dart out there. So I did side back with my initial idea that Wilson's probably going to get that 49th road loss. The Bears and the Lions, if Goff does not lose this game, this is my top clue here. If he does not lose this game, he stays on 58 losses, and he plays Baltimore next. Pope Leo XIV 58, Baltimore 58. He can get that 46th home win. 46 usually shows up in the Bears game. Chicago 46, like Caleb Williams fell to 4-6 at home last week. If the Bears lose, they're going to fall to 58-83 versus the NFC North all time. There's that 58 again. Detroit, Michigan equals 83. Yeah, the Bears falling to 58-83 is making some sense. Yeah, for those reasons, I favor the Lions here. We talked about the Rams winning last week and this week to become 2-0 versus the Titans. The Titans like 20. And some things that stood out to me. If Stafford does not lose this game, he can hold off his 65th road loss until the 65 city Philadelphia. He plays at Philly next. He can stay on 113 regular season losses. Eagles is 113. McVay can get his 90th all-time win. Tennessee Titans is 90. Yeah, I see Stafford getting that 65th loss in Philly. So I'm leaning that way. 49ers and Saints, you got Purdy out. I noticed something very interesting about Mac Jones. If Mac Jones plays the next 3 games, he will get his 23rd win over the Jaguars, who he played for last year, 23 days after his birthday. So I have a feeling that's what they're going to do. Yeah, he's getting this first start on the 23 date numerology, and I just saw that progression if he's in there for the next 3 games. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm banking on. And also we did look at before the season began that if Shanahan and the 49ers did well, if they won 7 of their first 8, they'd have 77 wins by the end of the Houston game. And there were some progressions in there that made a lot of sense. That's in the regular season. Houston 77. If he wins this week, he gets his 80th all-time win, Saints 80. If he wins the next 3, he gets his 74th regular season win, Jacksonville 74. But yeah, it's just, I see the progression for Mac Jones. Again, I see the better narrative for Shanahan. The Bills and the Jets. So, if the Jets came out and beat the Bills, it's possible for that reason, because this is the game that would shock everybody. A lot of crazy stuff does happen early in the year, division rivalry. But if I take the Jets, I'm taking those points. 6.5-point dog on the 5-date numerology. And whenever I see a spread that's right next to either a field goal or a touchdown, I think it's always smart to tease it up to plus 3.5, or in this case, plus 7.5, in case you get a touchdown game. Yeah, maybe the Jets with the points narrative's looking better and better, because I was looking at this game and I was thinking,
What do you think about? I'm staying away from this game, but what do you think about the Jets and the Bills? I saw that the all-time record could be 33-33 for the Jets if they won at home.
I think the Jets got a real shot to upset. I'm thinking about
so
flipping that one around. There's plenty of narrative there for the Jets to upset. I would tease the Jets up a point to plus 7.5. I've been predicting the future for over 9 years straight accurately. I get annoyed when people are like, hey, your predictions are nowhere near Nostradamus. You know what, you guys? This is not a false statement. I could wipe my ass with the name Nostradamus. Literally. The Seahawks and the Steelers. So, if the Steelers win, they're going to be 10-3 at home. Steelers like that 103. They like 31 even more, but the 103 happens quite a bit with the Steelers too, so that 10-3 stands out. Rodgers, you look at the quarterbacks, it really can't go either way, but it does stand out to me that Rodgers can stay on 87 losses. Tomlin can stay on 107 losses like Seattle as well, and get his 193rd all-time win, 44th prime like Seattle. I should have wrote that down too. Furthermore, Tomlin can stay on 107 regular season losses, Seattle 107, and get his 193rd all-time win, 193, 44th prime, Seattle 44. And you guys are talking to a channel that makes correct predictions that are accurate and right. Like the Browns and the Ravens. Ravens, huge favorite. In all likelihood, it looks like Jackson's getting his 71st win. Browns 71. Staying on 14 home losses. Jackson can become 9-5 versus the Browns. Baltimore's 95. Jackson does seemingly have the top clues. And the Browns can also get their 58th loss versus the AFC North. Baltimore and Pope Leo XIV. They'd stay on 14 all-time road wins as well. In all likelihood, Ravens do get it done. But all right, Broncos and Colts. I'm sticking with what I said. If the Colts won last week, I thought they'd start the year 3-0. Colts equals 30. They'd get their coach would get his 20th win over the Titans, who like 20. I think that's where it's going. The Broncos can fall to 6-9 at Indianapolis, where Colts have that 69 connection. That's the one that jumps out to me. Knicks can fall to 4-7 away in Indiana. Yeah, but again, the Colts win the next two. Their coach is going to get the 20th win, and Titans do like that 20. I don't see the Cardinals losing. It's 38 days after Kyler Murray's birthday. He can get his 38th win. Panthers 38. The Cardinals will get their 163rd win versus the NFC, the 38th prime. The threat would be staying on 37 wins, but 38 days after his birthday versus the team that loves to dish out 38. I think that's the narrative. So, yeah, Kyler Murray should get that 38th win 38 days after his birthday. Eagles and Chiefs, I'm sticking with what I said. Sirianni gets his 50th win here. Chiefs 50, 51st win next week over the Rams, 51. Sirianni started the year with his 49th win. Now he can get the 50th. Chiefs 50, getting 51 next week over the Rams. But yeah, if Sirianni wins, then we know that his progression's working. 49 versus Dallas, 50 versus Chiefs. It would build that confidence for the 51st versus the Rams next week. And like I said, Sunday Night Football, I don't see how the Falcons don't fall to 1-5 away. Atlanta loves 15. SNF has a weaker connection to 15. But again, it takes us into the 15th with the battle of teams that have the 51-15 connection. So you get 5-1 at home, 1-5 away. Again, 5-1 at home. Houston, Texans 51, Tampa 51, Texans host Super Bowl 51. I see that 1-5 away for road primetime records. I mean, Atlanta and SNF are 15, and like I said, going into the 15th.
Why do you think USA Today wrote their article about me? It's because this was never done before. Casinos have never taken losses like this before.
When in doubt on Monday Night Football, don't doubt the 33. Today does have 33 date numerology. Today can be written 15/9. Scottish Rite equals 159. Highest degree is 33. So maybe extra reason for the 33 to play tonight. But yeah, if I got to play it, I just got to go with the 33. 33 is it used to be almost perfect on Monday Night Football. It's no longer perfect, but it's still the winning number usually. And that's why somebody was mad at me last Monday. Had I just gone with the Bears staying on 33 home wins versus the Vikings, we would have all had a winner. We'll see if it can start off 2-0, because if it does, Mayfield's going to get his 33rd road loss. I'm right about everything.
Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh have a big rivalry, and Pete Carroll in college and NFL all time is 6-6 versus Harbaugh, and in the NFL he leads 5-4. If the Raiders won both games, he would be 7-4. Raiders equals 74, and Chargers equals 47.
And it is his 74th birthday. So Pete Carroll's 5-4 versus Harbaugh in the NFL, huh?
Yes. There's a whole Wikipedia article on the rivalry.
Oh, man, that could actually be the clue that they win both this year to do the 7-4. And then the 33 thing is there, too. I think I got to get on Raiders. Yeah, I think he might have unlocked the clue, the fact this game's on his 74th birthday. Yeah, this is a really good observation. I think the Raiders, the points is maybe making more sense. Yeah, and then this way I got the 33 on my side, because part of me is like, should I be doubting the 33 on the 33 date numerology?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that call really made a lot of sense to me. So I'm thinking Raiders at +3.5 is not a bad idea. You could even go up another point, because I did see this thing in the scoring that maybe the Raiders put up 29 tonight, and the Chargers could put up 33. If in case that happened, you'd have 62 points. Like how it's synced up with Gruden, who's 62. I'm going to say or +4.5. It'll be extra safe. But yeah, that 7-4 is just making too much damn sense to me. Back in the day, 33 was so consistent on Monday Night Football. It's still a majority winner. It won last week. It could show up in both games tonight. It would be really strange if it didn't hit in either. That would be unusual. But yeah, these are the two 33 narratives tonight. Again, Mayfield could get his 33rd road loss, and the Raiders could stay on 33 losses on Mondays, which wouldn't normally matter because MNF's always 33, and you know they're not going to stay there forever. But today's date numerology is 33. You can just write them down. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Back in the day, 33 was so consistent on Monday Night Football. It hasn't. It's still a majority winner. It won last week. It could show up in both games tonight. It would be really strange if it didn't hit in either. That would be unusual. Gay Matria. Congrats to the winners.
Yeah, we hit the bookie nice.
Saturday equals 107 like shooting. So here we are, right? WellSpan York Hospital. And notice how that's part of the story, right? We never got that detail in the Charlie Kirk story. They never told us what hospital he was taken to. That was just left out of the story. I still don't think that's ever been reported. We never got that detail in the Charlie Kirk story. They never told us what hospital he was taken to. That was just left out of the story. I still don't think that's ever been reported.
Zach, cut the bullshit.
The Bills could get their 63rd loss, and they could stay on 36 home wins. I would go with the 9-8 numerology and the 36-8 numerology. Tua, his all-time record, things could play in his favor. He could stay on 27 all-time losses and 18 road losses. Buffalo 27, Bills 18. It's the 18th of the month. But in the regular season, he can pick up his 27th loss and his 18th road loss. So that's kind of a moot point. If he did win, though, he would get his 39th win like New York's 39. Buffalo is in New York. Allen, he could stay on 40 all-time losses or get his 41st, both TNF numbers. It's Allen's regular season stats that open the door for the shocking, potentially getting the 35th loss Thursday, and McDermott can get his 46th loss the other Thursday number. And in light of the fact that Allen could get his 14th win when TNF is also 14, you have a 12.5 point spread. If you're laying a decent amount out there that you definitely do not want to lose, I think it would be smarter to tease the Bills up a couple points to plus 14.5. I could see Allen winning by exactly 14 for his 14th total win over the Dolphins on TNF, which likes 14, or even his 13th regular season win. I could see a 13-point win. TNF likes 13, even more than 14. But if you're at plus 14.5, you're going to be covered either way. McDaniel could stay on 27 all-time losses on 27-date numerology versus Buffalo. McDermott again get his 46th regular season loss. So you look at the coaches, it looks like there's a chance at an upset. Yeah, it's been a minute since there was a really big 35 Thursday upset, but again, it's there. The 35 is there. Lots of value. Small bill can become a big one if you stick it with the right things. But yeah, Packers at Browns, just to go through it. I said at the beginning of the year, I think the Packers are going to start 4-0. I still like that idea. It's all about LaFleur's record. He'll get his 74th total win and 71st regular season win over the Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys 74, Micah Parsons 71. He'll stay on 33 losses. Cleveland's 33 this week. Cowboys is 33 next week. The one threat to my narrative is if the Browns upset the Packers, Stefanski, the number 41, can play either way for him in a win or a loss. If he won, obviously it'd play for him. Green Bay does like 41, but that can go either way. And again, because I can go either way, I'm still on my Packers narrative. Do you know how much money I've pulled out of the casino's pockets? I guarantee you it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Said at the beginning of the year, the Colts either start 3-0 or 0-3. They're on their way to 3-0. Keep in mind, we do have 3-date numerology this weekend. But yeah, I'm taking the Colts to go 3-0. Colts is 30, and the reason we said at the beginning of the year is they either start 3-0 or 0-3 is because the coach was either going to get his 20th win or 20th loss in this game. Shane Steichen. He gets 20th win. Titans is 20. Bengals and Vikings. This was the game I updated. The Bengals can get their 110th win versus the NFC. That's a good Minnesota number. And the Vikings can get their 105th all-time loss, including the postseason versus the AFC. That's Cincinnati Bengals. So I say, Vikings would also get the 39th home loss versus the AFC. Bengals is 39 date numerology. Remember, J.D. Vance. Maybe that's also the reason the Bengals win, because J.D. Vance is a Bengals fan. Remember, he was talking Bengals an NFL on his 41st birthday this year in the media. And J.D. Vance, the VP, beat the guy from Minnesota. So let me add that note. J.D. Vance is a Bengals fan, and he beat the VP nominee from Minnesota, Tim Walz. And yes, you can take the Bengals at plus 3.5 today on the 3-date numerology. You want to play it extra safe. I prefer to lean on QBs and coaches, but that is pretty interesting how it lines up on both sides. But the thing I'm annoyed that I didn't see last week, because I love 99 in New England. I didn't see that if Rodgers lost last week, it was set up to get his 99th loss versus New England. I should have seen that. New England 99. So I'm thinking that's probably coming. So Rodgers, remember, he's been the class clown ever since he came out against Cootie's 19 by the numbers. But yeah, that 99th loss is there. And you want to play it extra safe, you could tease the Patriots up 2 points to plus 3.5. Just in case they did lose by 3, that'd be the extra safe policy. But I can't fade the 99. 99 in New England is definitely peas in a pond. I'm still on the idea that Rodgers getting that 99th loss. New England 99. Again, you want to play it extra safe. You can tease the Patriots up to plus 3.5. You got the 3-date numerology. Could be a lot of field goal games today. Person did call in yesterday that if the Patriots lose, it will be their 50th loss at Gillette Stadium. And Pittsburgh does equal 50, and sometimes those things matter. But like I said, I know there's a guy in this community who he started moving all those decos to that, and he went broke. Anyway, there can be something in the stadiums, but I'm just telling you, a guy did go broke betting stadium records. We make the casinos bleed because they hate what our community does. I said it in here, Sirianni gets 49th win over Dallas, 49. 50th win over Chiefs, 50. Then the 51st win over the Rams, 51. Plus it'll be his 57th all-time win, including the postseason, where Rams is also 57. And I'm sticking with it. The Jets and the Bucks, we picked Mayfield to start the year 2-1 because there was 2 reasons to think he'd be 2-1 after this game. So that upset narrative is there. And Tyrod Taylor's in this week, and I've always thought Tyrod Taylor's a pretty impressive quarterback. So maybe he comes in here and shocks Tampa. So I think if you do take the Jets, I think they're definitely dollar parlay worthy with the best group of games, trying to stretch $1 into 50 plus. But I think the smarter move with the Jets, and whenever I see a spread at 6.5, I always think it's worth teasing up at least a point in case it's a touchdown game. So I would tease the Jets up to plus 7.5. It's probably smarter to take them with the points. But remember, if Mayfield doesn't win, he's on 54 all-time wins and 54 regular season losses. And Jets does equal 54 forwards and backwards. Mayfield can also fall to 9-9 at home with the Bucks, and that's the other strong Jets number. Jets and 9. So Mayfield's got reasons to not win this game. The Raiders and the Commanders, you got Dan Quinn facing his teacher. Dan Quinn used to be the assistant under Pete Carroll when they played in Washington State. Jaden Daniels is out, and even if he was in, I would think he'd still lose because pretty much all the numbers say Raiders win this game. Yeah, the reason it looks like the Raiders should win is Geno Smith can get his 42nd win, Commanders 42. He'd get his 21st road win, 21 date numerology. Dan Quinn would stay on 61 wins. Las Vegas Raiders 61 and get his 52nd loss, Raiders 52. And his 49th regular season loss. Las Vegas and Washington are both 49, overlap number. But yeah, I mean, all the key numbers with the coaches is, Pete Carroll faces his protege. It looks like Daddy Pete can win, so...
The only people who aren't winning off my knowledge are people who aren't using it.
Falcons and Panthers. I'll be surprised if this one doesn't come in because we got the 2 best numbers for a Falcons game. Penix can become 3-3 on the 3-date numerology. Bryce Young can get his 25th loss. Falcons 25. And the Panthers coach can get his 15th loss. Atlanta 15. I mean, how's that not going to work out? Yeah, I think Falcons got this. I think the Falcons got this one. I don't see a reason for the Panthers to win. 25 and 15 are the best Falcons numbers, and they're both potentially playing. And historically, that's the best. When a QB and a coach both have the narrative to win or lose together, usually happens. In this case, the Falcons, or I should say the Panthers, got the QB and the coach have the narrative to lose. This game better come in. Falcons and Panthers. Like if this game doesn't come in, I don't know what's wrong. But yeah, you got the two best numbers on the board with the Falcons game. They can both play against the Panthers. Fuck you, loser. Fuck your gematria. The Texans and the Jaguars. Oh, yeah. D'Amico Ryans can get his 23rd all-time win. That's what I saw. So far, 23 has been the number in the first two Jags games. So why go against it? 23 is won in week 1 and week 2, so I'm going to lean that way for that reason. But keep in mind, Jags are favorites at home, so Texans could be taken with points, and they could also be teased up to plus 3.5 on the 3-date numerology, which probably isn't a bad idea in case they did get stuck on 66. The only people who don't make money off this knowledge are dumb people. Point blank, period. The Broncos and the Chargers game, Bo Nix could fall to 4-7 away and just stay on 4 road wins. LA is 4. I think I forgot to emphasize the LA part down here. I'm going to emphasize that right now. Could stay on 4 road wins in LA, which equals 4. This game's a little bit iffy just looking at the immediate game, but if Harbaugh does win, it sets him up perfectly to beat the Giants next week. Let me write one more thing. He would also stay on 25 losses. Yeah, if he wins the next 2, he gets a 64th win over the Giants. And it's like how Andy Reid can get his 64th loss versus the Giants with the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. And it does really look like the Chiefs might start 0-3. Russell Wilson, number 3, getting the better of Mahomes in week 3. So, yeah, Harbaugh get his 64th win over the Giants and stay on 25. And then his quarterback would stay on 38, the other Giants number. But I got to give the edge to the Chargers. And if they do win, then they have a good narrative to beat the Giants next week also. And remember the Saints-Seahawks game. This is another what I would call dollar parlay must. Saints have a nice multiplier. They can also be taken with the points. Kellen Moore, the coach of the Saints, is from Washington State, looking for his first career win. And I'm sure they'll be talking about that in the game. The big one right here is Radler wore 18 for the Saints last year. He could become 1-8, a bit like 18. He'd stay on 8 losses versus the 19 city. 19 is the 8th prime. And the big one right here is Darnold can get his 19th home loss. Saints and Seattle, the only 2 19 teams in the league. My bonus note there is if you wanted to tease it up 1 extra from plus 7.5 to plus 8.5, just they both have the 19 connection to 8th prime, buying 1 point. You know, it could keep you from crying at the end of the day, but the Cowboys and the Bears, I don't know. I did say I'd take Chicago at plus 3.5, but that might not be worth the value. That's still the way I'd feel comfortable playing them. It's mostly because, like I said at the beginning of the year, if Dak starts off 1-3, he's already won his game. Dallas 13. He's going to be on 77 wins after Green Bay, and Green Bay is 77. So I just don't trust this Bears team a whole lot. The threat is Prescott can get his 35th road win. Chicago is 35. So that is a little bit scary, but the 77 thing with Green Bay and that whole narrative of Parsons is standing out to me more. And I guess you could take Bears straight up, but you're running the risk of that 35. I just feel better at plus 3.5 with the Bears team if I'm playing it. 49ers and Cardinals is a bit tough because Murray has some decent numbers to win. He can get his 39th win on this 39-date numerology. 49ers equals 39. He could become 21-21 away. So all of that makes me a little bit uncomfortable. But remember what I said last week. Mac Jones, he played for the 23 team, the Jaguars, and he won last week. He needs to win this week, and then he can win next week and get his 23rd win over the Jags 23 days after his birthday. So that is really jumping out to me, but it could be smarter to wait for next week's game to make sure he does get the win this week. Shanahan has the narrative to win or lose. He can get his 81st all-time win, strong Cardinals number, 81. He could get his 74th win next week over Jacksonville. Jacksonville 74. He would stay on 66 losses next week. Jacksonville Jaguars 66. So, I mean, if they win this game, there's a lot of things that look great for the Niners next week, but they got to win this one to make it happen. But, yeah, I'm just thinking about how hot 23 has been with Jags, and I'm thinking It's been hitting the player props, been hitting the games. Why not line it up for Mac Jones 23 days after his birthday next week? So I'm still leaning that way, but this is a little bit threatening here. This is a little bit threatening. So the Chiefs and the Giants Sunday Night Football, I think the Giants got the better narrative here, and they got some great numbers. There's one big scary number going against them, but 12 loves Sunday Night Football. The Giants can get the 12th win versus the Chiefs. Get the 12th win on SNF. Russell Wilson can get his 122nd win in the regular season. Kansas City loves 122. He can stay on 30 home losses on the 3 date. He can stay on 32 all-time home losses, Kansas City and Chiefs 32. He get his 131st all-time win. That's the 32nd prime coming back to Kansas City and Chiefs 32. And Andy Reid can get his 64th all-time loss with the Chiefs. That's New York Giants. And if the Giants win, home teams are 6-4 in primetime. New York Giants 64, so it'd be like a double 64 thing. Yeah, so anyway, I think the Giants, they can definitely be taken with the points. You could tease them up 1 to plus 7.5 for the 7 date. How about shut the fuck up, morons? I'm not wrong about anything. And then plays the clip of the end. I'm never wrong about fucking anything. By the way, you guys, I had my worst. We had 2 great weeks, and this week a lot of major disappointments. But hey, even when we have a bad week, we can still smash it. Plenty of people in my community did well off player props.
Oh, brother.
For all the haters out there looking at my 50-50 week, don't forget we did real nice with the player props again.
Sure you did.
And if I can admit that I had a bad week, which I always do when I do, you are so full of shit. The numbers are screaming Lions to me, but there were a lot of numbers that were screaming this week that would normally hit that did not. So that's also on the back of my mind. Now tonight, you just have 41s all over the board. The Ravens could fall to 4-1 at home versus the Lions. Goff, again, can get his 41st all-time road win and stay on 58 losses, both Baltimore numbers. You get his 87th all-time win, Monday Night Football 87. Goff can get his 83rd regular season win tonight. Ravens 83 get his 40th road win. Dan Campbell can get his 41st win with the Lions. So just adding on to that 41 list.
Baltimore have a 96 point difference.
Oh, if they won by 4 plus 100 on the day, leaving 100. So if you took Lions with the points, they would cover.
Exactly.
That's probably not a bad idea tonight, you guys, because the primetime has been a little bit tricky on Sunday and Monday in 4-date numerology. Ravens win by 4. You got Lions with the points. You're in business. So now that Harbaugh 174 narrative's upgraded. So Lions with the points is looking smarter and smarter. But yeah, you want to play it extra safe. Lions with the points tonight. And then he's always doing his false math for how much money you would have lost, which is total BS. Congrats to the winners. Yeah, we hit the bookie nice. And then he's always doing his false math for how much money you would have lost, which is total BS. Again, you listen to the trolls and the haters, it's not going to serve you well. Just total scammer, total liar. I don't know how he has any supporters. I mean, you talk about really dumb people. And we are a very indecent society. And you see most young people, they just don't have really any decency in them. I had these 2 little girls come to my door the other day selling candy bars for a fundraiser. And we bought a bunch from them to help them out. And then I noticed neither of them even said thank you. They just took the money and walked away. And I thought, man, I remember being a little kid doing things like this. I would have definitely said thank you. They just took the money and just turned around and walked away. I just thought. And look at you. You can't say thank you. You want to know why? It's because you're a fucking loser. And I will speak that way because that's the way I speak about fucking ungrateful losers.
That's all, folks.
Till next time, Truth Seeker.